Hey people, here's a follow-up to the comic that was called Without Warning. This was included in the back of the comic, and here's some things to think about. And although this is about earthquakes, we have experienced, some other types of disasters in our area. One, we're living through COVID-19 together, and two, we have forest fires. And so there are all different types of disasters that we can be aware of so that we can be prepared. And so this is a list that's a few years old. And so, I will be including over time some different resources to help you prepare for earthquakes. And the most important thing, though, is having a plan so your family knows what to do so that you can reunite in an event that you are separated during a disaster. Just like any type of emergency drill or preparedness we do, like when we're at school with fire drills, it's important to know what to do when we're at home too. So before even thinking about an earthquake striking, there are some things we can do to be ready. And so here's a website that you can go to, ready.gov. Make a plan is a pretty good one. But the big and most important thing, like I said, is make a plan and make sure everyone in your family knows it. You may have noticed that Angie even texted her uncle that lived in Ohio. It's super important to have a contact that you can text that is outside of this area, because their phone lines and things won't be down, and they can help bring your family together when you're separated, if you're separated. And it's super important to practice together. So you heard probably Angie's little sister saying, just like we practiced. Again, when we practice and are aware, we don't have to be as afraid. So you can buy or assemble an emergency kit. There's lots of different ways to do this and some low budget ideas out there. So look to our website for this information. Can register and participate in the Great Shakeout. That's a drill that happens every October around the 17th of the month. And everyone across the country does it at the same time, on the same day. And so, that's something you can do. And most importantly, though, that practice drill involves something called drop, cover, and hold. So you drop down to the floor. You do not run. That is the worst thing to do. You need to cover your head. So in case any falling debris is happening from above you, if you're inside or outside. And then you need to hold on to something because the ground is shaking and you will bounce around a little bit. So you got to hold on. After an earthquake, if you're near water, move uphill and inland on foot as fast as possible. A tsunami may be on the way. And so in our area, we probably won't have the tsunami come all the way over the coastal range and into our valley here. But there can be some things happening with our water systems because of the surge in our rivers. So getting to high ground, even if we're not in a tsunami area, is pretty important. Make sure you always follow your family plan. Communicate with other people around you. There may be people that need help that you could help quickly, like Angie did with that person that was stuck in the river. Have an out-of-state emergency contact saved and practice calling them, just like I mentioned before with her uncle in Ohio. And you may not be able to call across our town. And in fact, it's recommended you do not make phone calls on your cell phones. It's better to text so that more people can get through to their loved ones. Out-of-state calls, though, should go through because that would be a different system. Texts will, like I said, go through. And so it's in our area, please text, don't call. Emergency Go Kit passport. So this is, another kind of a thing. There are probably in our area some different classes. I will look into this and see what I can find out for you all as far as learning more about how to, take a safety course maybe with Red Cross or something. And so this is an example of that. And then there are some recommended supplies to include. And water is the most important thing, a gallon of water per person per day for drinking and for cleaning. Food for at least 3 days. A manual can opener if you have canned foods. Any of your prescribed medications. This one's a kind of tricky one and definitely would take some money, but hopefully someone in your neighborhood has a battery-powered radio or a NOAA weather radio with a tone alert and extra batteries. Flashlights and extra batteries are important. First aid kit, whistle if you don't know how to whistle loudly on your body to get help. Anything you need for your babies or your pets. It doesn't talk about pets here, but we need to be prepared with our pets and our little ones that can't care for themselves. Having moist towelettes or garbage bags or other things to keep your waste in will be good, because we won't be able to use our toilets. And masks, we're really good at masks now, so make sure you keep those around. They'll be good even outside of COVID or smoke. So yeah, masks are a thing. Plastic sheeting or duct tape, you could make a shelter or have in a tarp or something. And then, a little toolbox, especially a wrench or pliers, so you can turn off your hot water heater. You can actually use the water that's stored in your hot water heater if you get it turned off right away. And it helps it not have a surge or anything. And then any of your important documents, like your bank account stuff, insurance things, keep those, a copy of them either in the cloud or in a waterproof container, so you have access to that. And yeah, that's kind of the extent of some safety things. And I will be building a website for people like you to check out with some different activities and things that you can learn about, our Cascadia subduction zone and how plate tectonics work, and ways to be aware and prepared.